They didn't understand when you were still there. They didn't listen when you tried to explain. But now, in the quiet space you left behind, the truth is finally sinking in. You understand now why you walked away, and this realization is hitting them deeper than they ever expected. If these words found you today, trust that it's not random. Blue is bringing this message to you at the exact moment your soul is ready to hear it. This is a timeless reading from Twin Soul Collective Guidance, so whenever you're drawn to it, that's when it's meant for you. Only take what resonates with you. Okay, wow, there's a heavy emotional shift happening on their side right now. The kind that comes when someone finally sees their own actions clearly. The energy surrounding this reading is showing me 5 powerful cards that reveal exactly what's going on in their heart and mind. These cards appeared because something profound is happening. This isn't about surface level thoughts anymore. This is about them sitting alone with memories, replaying moments, and finally realizing what they lost when you chose yourself. Your absence became the lesson they refused to learn while you stayed, and now something inside them is waking up. They're seeing you differently, they're seeing the situation differently, and most importantly, oh my goodness, they're seeing themselves differently. Stay with me as we go deeper into this message, because what's coming through next reveals what they're truly feeling now, what changed inside them after you left, and why this realization couldn't happen any sooner. This message may bring clarity, validation, and an emotional truth your heart has been waiting for. The first card that came through in this reading is the Hermit, and wow, this card is so significant right now. The Hermit represents solitude, introspection, and that deep inner journey that happens when there's nowhere left to hide from the truth. This card is showing me that when you walked away, they were left completely alone with themselves in a way they had never experienced before. At first, that silence felt uncomfortable. They tried to fill it with distractions, with other people, with work, with anything that would keep them from having to sit with their own thoughts. But over time, oh my goodness, that silence became louder and louder. It started asking them questions they could no longer avoid. The Hermit reveals that they are now looking back at everything with completely different eyes. Not through ego, not through pride, not through excuses, but through honest, raw reflection. They are replaying conversations in their mind, moments where you tried to express how you felt, moments where you asked for something so simple, just to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, and now they're realizing how often they dismissed those moments. How often they made you feel like you were asking for too much when really you were just asking for basic emotional care. What once felt normal to them, what once felt like it was fine, now feels so empty. They finally see that you weren't being dramatic, you weren't being needy. You were asking for understanding, respect, and emotional safety. Things that should have been freely given, not things you had to beg for. The Hermit energy is slow and deep. It's not a sudden realization that happens overnight. It's a gradual awakening that unfolds in those quiet moments when they're alone, when they're lying in bed at night, and there's no one there to distract them from the truth. When they're going about their day and something small reminds them of you, and suddenly they're hit with the weight of what they lost. This card shows them questioning their own behavior, their patterns, the ways they failed to show up when it mattered most. They are realizing that your leaving was not sudden, it was not impulsive, it was the result of many unheard moments, many dismissed feelings, many times you tried and they didn't meet you halfway. All of that piled up until you had no choice but to choose yourself. Okay, and here's what's really hitting them hard. The Hermit is showing me that they now understand you didn't leave because you stopped caring. You left because staying was costing you your peace. And that realization, wow, that realization is cutting deep because it forces them to accept responsibility instead of placing blame. They can no longer tell themselves the story that you were the problem, that you gave up too easily, that you didn't try hard enough. Deep down, they know now that you were patient far longer than they deserved. You gave chance after chance. You communicated, you tried, and they didn't listen until it was too late. There is regret here, but it's quiet and heavy. The hermit doesn't cry out dramatically, it sits with the weight. They feel the loss in everyday moments, in the silence where your voice used to be, in the space where your effort once filled the gaps. They are realizing that you were the emotional anchor, the one who tried to hold things together while they stayed emotionally distant or unavailable. And now that you're gone, they feel how much work you were doing that they never acknowledged. This card is also showing me that they are not ready to speak yet. Their understanding is still internal. They are still processing, still piecing together the truth. They may want to reach out, but they are holding back, unsure of what to say, afraid that words alone won't be enough anymore. The hermit energy is about finding inner truth before taking outer action. They know now why you left, but knowing doesn't instantly give them the courage to face you. The second card that appeared is the Five of Cups, and oh my goodness, this card speaks directly to the emotional weight they are carrying right now. The Five of Cups is about loss, grief, and the pain of realizing too late what truly mattered. When you walked away, they may have told themselves they would be fine, that life would continue as usual, that they didn't need you as much as you thought they did. But as time passed, the emotional reality settled in, and the truth became impossible to ignore. This card shows them standing in the aftermath of their own choices, looking at what has been spilled, what has been lost, and knowing deep down that it cannot be undone. This energy reveals deep regret, not just for losing you, but for how they handled the connection while they had it. They are replaying moments where they could have spoken differently, acted with more care, shown up more consistently. The Five of Cups shows that they are emotionally stuck in the past right now, caught between memories and guilt. They understand now that your leaving was a response to repeated disappointments, not a sudden decision, and that realization hurts because it makes them face how preventable this loss truly was. If they had just listened, if they had just tried, if they had just valued you the way you deserved to be valued, but they didn't, and now they're sitting with that. There is sadness here that feels heavy and quiet. They are grieving not only you, but the version of the future they assumed would always be there. This card shows them realizing that they took your presence as something guaranteed, something that didn't require effort to keep. They thought you would always be there. They thought your love was unconditional enough to withstand neglect. Now that you're gone, they feel the emptiness in ways they never expected. Simple things trigger memories, a song, a place, a phrase, and those memories come with the sharp awareness that they didn't value those moments enough while they were happening. They didn't appreciate the little things you did, the way you showed up, the way you cared, even when they made it hard for you to do so. The Five of Cups also reveals self-blame beginning to surface. At first, they may have blamed circumstances, timing, or even you, but now they are starting to accept their role in what went wrong. This card shows emotional honesty, even if it's painful. They see how their emotional distance, their inconsistency, their lack of effort slowly pushed you away. They understand now that you didn't leave to hurt them. You left to protect yourself, and wow, that's a hard truth to swallow, because it means they were the one causing the harm. They were the one making you feel alone even when you were together. This card carries the pain of missed chances. They realized there were opportunities to fix things, to listen, to change, and they let those moments pass. That awareness creates a deep sense of remorse. They are mourning what could have been if they had acted differently. The Five of Cups shows them looking at the spilled cups, focusing on what's lost rather than what still remains. Right now, their emotions are consumed by regret, and it's difficult for them to move forward. They keep thinking about the past, wishing they could go back, wishing they could undo words, undo actions, undo the moments they stayed silent when you needed reassurance. But here's the thing, even though this card is about loss and regret, it also holds an important message beneath the sorrow. Even though they are focused on what's been spilled, there is still something behind them that hasn't been completely destroyed. The understanding of why you left is painful, but it's also teaching them emotional responsibility. They are beginning to see patterns in themselves that need to change. While this doesn't erase the hurt, it plants the seed of growth. The Five of Cups tells us that they wish they could go back, but they can't. All they can do is sit with the weight of their choices and let it transform them. At the heart of this card is the truth that they now feel what you felt for so long. The loneliness, the sadness, the emotional neglect. You carried that quietly, trying to make things work, trying to be understanding, trying to give them space to grow. And now it's their turn to sit with it. They finally understand why you couldn't stay, because staying would have meant continuing to pour into something that wasn't pouring back into you. And that realization, as painful as it is changing them in ways they can't ignore. The third card that came through is the Tower. And okay, this is a powerful one. The Tower represents sudden awakening, the collapse of illusions, and the moment when everything you thought was stable comes crashing down. This card is showing me that your leaving was their Tower moment. It shattered the false sense of security they had built around the connection. They thought things were fine. They thought you would always be there. They thought they had time to change, time to do better, time to finally show up the way you needed. But when you left, that illusion shattered completely. And oh my goodness, that moment of realization hit them like an earthquake. The Tower energy is intense and unavoidable. It's the kind of wake up call that you can't ignore, no matter how much you want to. This card reveals that they are now seeing the truth in a way that feels almost shocking. Things they overlooked, things they minimized, things they convinced themselves weren't that serious. All of it is now undeniably clear. The Tower strips away denial. It forces honesty. And right now they are being forced to see that they created this outcome through their own actions and inactions. This isn't about bad luck or bad timing. This is about choices. Choices they made repeatedly that led to you walking away. What's coming through strongly with the Tower is that they feel blindsided even though deep down they know they shouldn't be. You gave signs, you communicated, you expressed your needs, but they didn't take it seriously until you were gone. The Tower shows that moment when everything clicks, when they realize that all those small moments of neglect added up to something massive. They didn't see it coming because they weren't paying attention. And now the foundation they took for granted has completely crumbled. This card is about destruction, but it's also about necessary destruction. Sometimes things need to fall apart so the truth can be seen clearly. The Tower is showing me that they are now questioning everything, not just about this connection, but about themselves, their patterns, their emotional availability, the way they handle love. This isn't just about missing you. This is about realizing that they need to fundamentally change if they ever want to build something real with anyone. Your leaving became the catalyst for that realization. It forced them out of their comfort zone and into a space where they have to confront uncomfortable truths about who they've been in relationships. And that process, wow, it's not easy. It's messy and painful and humbling. But here's what the Tower is also revealing. As painful as this awakening is, it's also freeing, because living in illusion is exhausting. Pretending things are fine when they're not. Avoiding responsibility, making excuses, all of that takes energy. Now that the illusion has collapsed, they can finally see reality. And while reality is harsh right now, it's also honest. The Tower clears the way for rebuilding, but only if they're willing to do the work, only if they're willing to face what this moment is teaching them. The fourth card is Judgment, and this card brings a sense of reckoning and awakening. Judgment is about truth rising to the surface, about finally seeing things clearly after a long period of denial or avoidance. When judgment appears, it shows that they are no longer confused about why you left. There is no more guessing, no more trying to convince themselves that you were wrong or that you'll come back once you cool down. The understanding has arrived fully, and it's impossible for them to ignore. This is the moment where everything clicks into place. This card reveals that they are facing their past, honestly, reviewing their actions, their words, the patterns they repeated without realizing the impact they had on you. Judgment is not gentle at first. It brings self-reflection that can feel uncomfortable, even painful. They are realizing that your leaving was not abandonment, but a consequence of emotional neglect, unhealed wounds, or choices they kept avoiding. This realization feels heavy because it asks them to take full responsibility without hiding behind pride or defensiveness. Judgment shows that they now understand your strength. They see that it took courage for you to walk away, especially if you loved deeply and tried repeatedly to make things work. They recognize now that you didn't leave because you didn't care. You left because you cared enough about yourself to stop accepting less than you deserved. This awareness changes how they view the entire connection. What they once dismissed, they now deeply respect. There is also a sense of timing revealed here. Judgment tells us that this understanding came when it was meant to, not when it could have saved the relationship, but when it could transform them. They are realizing that if you had stayed longer, the lesson may never have been learned. Your leaving became the wake-up call they ignored for too long. This card shows them standing at a crossroads, aware that they cannot return to who they were before. They've been changed by this. They've been awakened, and there's no going back to ignorance. Judgment brings clarity, but it also brings a desire for redemption. They may feel an urge to reach out, to apologize, to explain themselves more honestly than ever before. This card shows them wanting to be seen differently, to correct past mistakes, to prove that they understand now. However, it also shows them understanding that words alone may not be enough anymore. They know now that real change requires action, accountability, and emotional growth, not just promises. This card also speaks of release. They are being asked by life itself to let go of old behaviors and emotional patterns that cause this loss. Judgment is about rising above the past, not repeating it. They are being confronted with the question of who they want to become moving forward. Whether or not they ever speak to you again, this realization is shaping their future relationships and how they show up emotionally. Judgment energy shows that they are no longer blaming you. The illusion has fallen away. They see that your leaving was a mirror held up to their own inner work, their own healing that they avoided. This awareness can feel overwhelming, but it's also freeing. For the first time, they are honest with themselves about what they did wrong and what they need to heal. The fifth and final card is the Four of Cups, and this card reveals something deeply important about where they are emotionally right now. The Four of Cups represents apathy that has turned into regret, emotional withdrawal that has turned into longing. This card often appears when someone realizes too late that they were being offered something valuable and they turned away from it. And oh my goodness, that's exactly what's happening here. While you were present, while you were offering your love, your time, your energy, they were emotionally checked out. They were looking elsewhere, focused on other things, taking you for granted because they assumed you would always be there. The Four of Cups shows them sitting with their arms crossed, looking away from the cups being offered, not realizing that one day those cups would be taken away, and now they're looking back at that image and feeling the full weight of their mistake. They see now that they were being offered something real, something genuine, something many people searched their whole lives for, and they didn't appreciate it, they didn't value it, they looked past it as if it were ordinary when it was actually extraordinary. This card is showing me that they feel foolish now, they feel regret for not opening their eyes sooner. What's coming through with the Four of Cups is that they are now seeing all the moments they missed, all the times you reached out and they were distant, all the times you tried to connect and they were distracted, all the times you needed reassurance and they were unavailable. Those moments are haunting them now because they realize how simple it would have been to just show up, to just be present, to just appreciate what was right in front of them. But they didn't, and now they understand the cost of that emotional absence. This card also reveals that they are finally ready to receive what they weren't ready for before, but the painful irony is that it's too late. You've moved on, you've chosen yourself. The Four of Cups shows them finally opening their arms, finally ready to accept and appreciate, but the offer is no longer there. And that creates a profound sense of loss and regret. They're learning one of life's hardest lessons, that sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. And by the time you realize its value, the opportunity to cherish it has passed. At its core, the Four of Cups is telling us that they are now awake to what they lost. They see your worth clearly now. They see the effort you put in clearly now. They see the love you offered clearly now. And all of that clarity is coming with the painful awareness that they let it slip through their fingers. This card brings a bittersweet energy because the awakening they're experiencing is real and deep, but it came too late to change the outcome. They understand now, but understanding doesn't undo the past. It just makes them wish they had understood sooner. So, here's what all of this means for you. These 5 cards together are painting a complete picture of someone who is going through a profound transformation because of your absence. This isn't just about them missing you. This is about them fundamentally understanding for the first time why you had to leave. And wow, that understanding is reshaping everything they thought they knew about love, effort, and emotional responsibility. The Hermit showed us their solitude and deep reflection. The Five of Cups revealed their grief and regret. The Tower exposed the shattering of their illusions. Judgment brought the moment of full accountability and awakening. And the Four of Cups showed us the painful realization that they didn't value what they had until it was gone. Okay, and here's what I need you to understand. This message isn't about whether or not they reach out. It's not about whether reconciliation happens or if they've changed enough to deserve another chance. This message is about validation. It's about you knowing that your decision to walk away was right. It was necessary. It was an act of self-love and self-preservation. You didn't leave too early. You didn't give up too easily. You left when your soul couldn't take it anymore. And their current realization proves that you were right all along. They weren't ready. They weren't listening. They weren't doing the work. And you had every right to choose yourself. Their understanding now doesn't erase what you went through. It doesn't undo the loneliness you felt when you were trying to make things work. It doesn't erase the nights you cried, the times you felt unheard, the moments you questioned your own worth because they made you feel like you were asking for too much. Oh my goodness, you went through so much while trying to hold that connection together, and you did it with grace and patience for as long as you possibly could. But there comes a point where staying becomes self-abandonment, and you recognize that point. You honored yourself enough to walk away, and that took incredible strength. What's beautiful about this reading is that it shows your impact. You didn't just leave and disappear from their life without a trace. You left and created a shift in them that will last forever. You became a turning point in their journey. You became the person who taught them what it means to take love for granted and what it costs. That lesson will stay with them in every relationship they have moving forward. They will never be the same person they were before they knew you. And while that doesn't change your path or require you to go back, it does mean that your presence in their life mattered deeply. You mattered. Your love mattered. and now they know it. Whether they ever find the courage to tell you this or not, whether they ever apologize or acknowledge what they've realized, the shift has already happened internally. They understand now. They see you differently. They see themselves differently. And they will carry this awareness with them for the rest of their life. Some lessons can only be learned through loss, and you were the catalyst for one of the most important lessons they will ever learn. That realization doesn't belong to you to fix or manage, it's theirs to sit with, yours to simply know that you were right to choose peace over pain. So as you move forward, I want you to carry this truth with you. You are not the one who gave up, you are the one who finally chose yourself after giving so many chances. You are not the one who didn't try hard enough, you are the one who tried until there was nothing left to give. And you are not the one who needs to feel guilty or wonder if you made the right choice. You did. Your peace matters, your emotional well being matters, and choosing to protect that is never wrong. They understand now why you left, and that understanding is their journey to walk, not yours to carry. Thank you for being here with me today in this reading from Twin Soul Collective Guidance. I'm Blue, and I hope this message brought you the clarity, validation, and peace you needed to hear. Trust your path, trust your decision, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should.